Excess with Tommy. It's your daily afternoon excess. You're here with Tommy Rocker, and in studio today, special guest Dan Mangano.
How you going?
Yeah, good man. Thanks for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
I know that you've been supportive of me doing this for a long time and always said you'd come in and help me out when you can.
No, definitely. I'm happy to do it.
Awesome, man. Well, we've got a lot of stuff to get through, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Actually, how I was going to introduce you was he's a man who knows how to bang things and handle a couple of snakes.
I like it.
It's the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this man here, sitting across from me, known him for a while. We go back a few years. Actually, he's probably the person I've known the longest in Melbourne, by pure coincidence.
Yeah, geez, it's been a while.
It has. Well, a few years, and actually the circumstances that we met are a little... they're not great, let's say. There's been better things. So anyway, Mr. Mangano,
Yes.
Dan.
Mm-hmm.
He's a drummer, he's a songwriter, he's a leader. He's also very knowledgeable on bugs and reptiles and I guess wildlife to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a very smart guy, very switched on, and I'm sure that we can all learn a lot from him today. So I'm going to sort of cut to the chase, break straight into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Going back, and I mean right back.
Okay.
Obviously, this is going to be a question you get asked a lot, but I sort of want to know the backstory a little more. When you were starting out, you're from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were starting out, like, what made you get into music, and not just music, but drumming specifically? And was there a moment where you decided, this is what I really want to do with my life and pursue this more?
I mean, I got into music really early on. Like my folks signed me up for school keyboard lessons and stuff right from prep, and we did lots of ear training and lots of vocal training, as well as, you know, the piano stuff. So by the time I got to the end of primary school, I knew that I really enjoyed music. And then when we got to high school and we had to pick our instruments, I initially said drums, and my family said no. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So I ended up picking up saxophone. But right at the end of year 7, we had a music assignment where we had to basically mime and perform a song as a group.
Like a music video?
Kind of. But we had to do it in front of the whole class. And
yeah, right.
A couple of my mates played guitar and were like, oh, you know, let's do Highway to Hell. And I'd never heard the song.
Okay.
And I went, what's that? They're like, it's AC/DC. I'm like, I know AC/DC. I know TNT. That's a really cool song. Let's check this. And the first time I heard Highway to Hell, I went, whoa.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And so we did this performance, and I thought, I'll drum. I grabbed some drumsticks and played a mate's kit before, and kind of had been surprised that I'd been able to pick up like the basic drum, like rock beat,
sure,
relatively quickly. Like, because doing piano stuff and that, you've already got a little bit of like limb separation. Like you can do different things at the same time.
Yep.
So slowly working into that first rock beat and going, how I can do this. And I mean, it's Highway to Hell. It's like most AC/DC. It's that full ride standard rock beat. So after that, me and the guys that I'd been in that group with said, let's keep being a band. And so we never did anything. Like over the next 18 months, we basically got together, talked shit, and then played Highway to Hell. Because that was
on repeat.
That I think we picked up Brain Stew by Green Day, maybe.
Okay.
And then I think at one stage we maybe tried something else and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But it was always really half-assed.
Yeah.
And basically, through high school, like I had my drum kit, and I actually drummed in like the local church band and stuff like that.
Cool.
Because I was in a youth group and stuff like that. And then when we got out of high school, you know, obviously Ben had picked up guitar at that point, and Matty Dynan had come to our school and picked up guitar, or he'd already been playing. And really early after high school, we're talking about like the April after high school, we were sitting in a bar and listening to this horrible cover band do a ridiculously shit cover of Run to Paradise. And I just remember, I'm pretty sure it was Dynan that turned to us and goes, "We can do that better than that, surely."
Yeah, right.
And Ben said, "We definitely could do that better." And I was like, "Should we?" And that's where Ablaze came from. And ever since then, in one form or another, through to where we are today, that's, when I decided, look, I need to keep pushing ahead with my drums. I was self-taught.
Yep.
Everything had basically come from playing along to songs that I liked. So, I mean, when I did that initial assignment in Year 7, my mate gave me a CD that was burnt with like 10 AC/DC songs. That's all I listened to for about 12 months was that CD.
That was your soul food.
That's it. So I was getting into rock via that, and then later on I got introduced to stuff like Foreigner and Dire Straits and Toto and Guns N' Roses and Poison, and then all that stuff started coming through as well from my folks, because that was all music that they really liked.
Okay.
And then through, like, Ben introduced me to people like Joe Satriani and Paul Gilbert and Steve Vai that had a massive impact on me. At the same time, I introduced him to people like Rose Tattoo and stuff that I'd been, that real Aussie sound that I'd really liked. So, we kind of bounced influences off each other from fairly early then. But, when I got out of high school, probably a few years after, when the band started taking things a bit more seriously, and we kind of went, look, let's make a push for this. And I mean, we got together in 2010. We're talking 2015, 2016 by this stage.
Yeah.
I'd started to realise that being self-taught's cool, and if you've done it properly, reading the books or whatever it is, sweet. I had not.
Yeah. Right.
I had sat down and fucked stuff up until I wasn't fucking it up anymore.
Yeah.
To put it simply.
Yeah.
And I went, look, it was actually after we recorded The Hard Way. So the first single we did.
Which is one of my favourite Ablaze songs.
Thank
you.
you.
That I always tell you.
Awesome. No, and I appreciate it. No, but we released that at the end of 2014. So we're talking only a few months before that. We'd been in the studio.
For those that don't know, that's the EP, No Turning Back, right?
Yeah. But we recorded The Hard Way well before.
Okay.
So The Hard Way was released at the end of 2014, like December 2014, I think. We didn't release the EP until April 2016. Okay. Originally, it was just a standalone single to go, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. And then later on, we went, chuck it on the EP. Why not?
Right.
So we basically, when I was in the studio, we're at Light Hill Studios with Ricky Ray, doing that first single, and I'm kind of sitting there, and he's a drummer, and he's a phenomenal drummer. And he kept coming in going, I'll try this, I'll try that. He picked up really quick that I was self-taught and that I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing. So he's giving me these little tips, and I kind of thought to myself, all right, I think I'm reaching a point right now where if I want to continue to advance my skill, but also expand my game as a drummer, I'm going to need to actually go and see someone who actually teaches and see if I can at least get some, off the side kind of lessons, and just try and expand what I'm doing here, because I'm building a wall, but there's bricks missing from down the bottom.
Sure. The foundation wasn't there.
I haven't done that work down the bottom. I've just jumped straight into teaching myself beats and stuff. And so, I could do some kind of middle-level skill-wise drum beats in some of the songs, but I couldn't do a flam properly. Oh. And I'm like, okay, because I never really looked at it, or the proper ways to do a rim shot and stuff like that. So I gone, look, I'm going to do this. And the drummer from our singer Danny's other band at the time, Moments Apart, he's a phenomenal drummer by the name of Luciano Alvaro, and he does lessons. And I said, hey, dude, look, I'm just looking for like an informal thing where I can, help me to fill in some of these gaps. And he said, yeah, dude, we'll definitely do that. And so I started going down there, and it's been a few years, and just go down and look through some kind of advanced stuff, expanded my creativity with drum fills, some of my groove stuff, my double kicking ability, all that kind of stuff that I really didn't know how to approach myself. Yeah. And all of a sudden, everything started lining up a bit better, because I didn't want to... Originally, I like saying I'm self-taught. Yeah. And I think a lot of self-taught musicians like saying that they're self-taught. But the other thing that I didn't want to do was limit how good I could potentially be, or the level that I could be playing at, for the sake of being proud of saying that I'm self-taught.
The trade-off wasn't worth it.
No, I'd rather be able to do the shit that my heroes could do,
of course,
than be stuck
Have the tools.
at a beginner level because I was too proud to say I need help. So
100%.
That's kind of where that all came from.
And that's where you really started diving into the craft of drumming more like as its own standalone thing to give you the tools that you could use for your music.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because all the little grooves and all the little ideas that I've looked at, little exercises and little drum fill patterns and stuff like that, it just spurred on ideas. And Luch has said to me, like he's listened to songs and gone, this fill at this point, I know where you've been inspired from. Or that was when we did this. I'm like, yeah, like that, the way that felt. He's like, it's not the same fill, but that I can totally hear it. He's like, I'm stoked because it means that it's working.
Yeah. So it's a good thing. It's a positive thing.
That's it.
And that's the thing. Sometimes people are embarrassed of or ashamed of, showing influences or like licks and things for guitar players and stuff. But really, all those things are just ingredients that build up your style in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
You've done, and you can hear the groove in certain songs. I was listening to some Ablaze songs before you came here today just to get juiced up and stuff. And it's all good stuff, man. And part of the challenge, I think, with what you're talking about is people aren't prepared to put in the time to practice the actual drum, like the boring shit. Let's say, but really it pays off later. Because it's like if you go to play a show, for example, this is a bad analogy, but I'll try to explain it as best I can. Playing drums as hard as you play them, because you do play them really hard and loud.
I hit things very hard, yeah.
Even Nathan at Drummers Paradise is like, Dan's on
he's still scared of
He's scared of the fuck, man, out of you. Fucking hell. He's like, Dan bashes them, and what people don't realise is to maintain that for a whole concert takes a certain level of ability and endurance. Your
chops have got to get better.
Your chops have got to be better. So learning the proper techniques and all that enables you to carry that on the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. And I've watched, like, I've always known that I hit hard.
Yeah.
And I get into it and I throw my head around and stuff like that, and my osteopath wants to punch me in the face. But I guess the thing is that I've always just felt it and I've done that. But I hadn't until I watched some videos recently of the way I used to hit stuff compared to now, without even realizing that my technique had improved. Like just how hard. I had a video come up in my Facebook memories of really early days. We're talking maybe 2012, 2011.
Yeah, right.
And a bunch of our mates had come to our practice just to have something to do. And we were jamming No Turning Back. And for one, we were playing it 3 times faster than the recording.
Yep.
And I was absolutely pounding my 18-inch crash.
Yeah.
Because that's what I sit on when I'm in the chorus and stuff like that. And I was just sitting there going, I wasn't pulling my stick back or anything like that. I was plowing straight through it.
Yeah.
And absolutely smashing everything else. I'm sitting there going, no wonder I broke cymbals as fast as I did. Yeah. No wonder I went through 2 drumsticks per practice. Like, I'm sitting there going, and I'm looking now and I'm like, you know what? You were 20.
Yeah.
Like, you'd been playing properly or semi-properly for about 18 months at this stage.
Sure.
Like, funnily enough, you don't hit that hard when you're playing in a church.
That's the truth.
No, definitely. But I kind of, I looked at this video and just went, shit, you did improve. Like, it was hard for me to kind of see, but now I kind of take a bit more stock and notice the way that I'm doing things.
Yeah, okay. I'm
still not, look, I feel like you've got the 2 schools of thought on drumming. You've got the play the songs and the people that go, I've played nothing but rudiments for 6 years.
Sure.
I haven't played a proper drum beat in this long because I'm trying to make sure my paradiddles are as even as they can be. And you go, well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
But you're playing a musical instrument and you're not being musical with it. Like, you can get your paradiddles as even as you want, but if you can't play with other musicians, I don't fully understand what you're going for. It's very important to get those techniques and those, tricks up your sleeve so that you can, double hit something with one hand with a bit of evenness. But yeah, like I'm still kind of focused on being able to play the songs, and now I can do it without hurting myself or anybody around me like I used to.
And breaking shit all the time.
Still break shit.
Just not as much, maybe?
Not as much, and I actually, funnily enough, you get what you pay for. So when I was buying secondhand cymbals of Gumtree, funnily enough, that only last me a couple of months. Whereas now...
Secondhand cymbals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just absolute trash and beaten up. And when you're breaking both hi-hats, like on a semi-regular basis...
The top and bottom?
Yeah.
I've never done that.
I inverted a bottom hi-hat.
As a top?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
No, it literally popped through from underneath. I don't know what I did. And they were decent hi-hats too. It was stupid. But nowadays I've got a terrific endorsement with a fantastic brand, and I love playing my soul tone cymbals.
Yeah.
And
tell us about that. Like how that started. How'd you get hooked into that?
I discovered soul tone because I got approached on Facebook by another company, a smaller Australian-based company that was promising Turkish handmade cymbals via Adelaide.
Okay.
And the deal seemed really weird. Basically, he said, I'm going to give you this much of a discount and blah, blah, blah. You want this, and this, because this is the kind of style of music you're playing, and it's going to cost you $1,100. And I just kind of went, I have never played one of your cymbals before. I love the offer. I love that you're interested. Thank you. I am flattered, but I need to try your cymbals. Have you got an endorsee in Melbourne that I can just go and try playing theirs? And he went, oh, well, I mean, there are, but whether they're going to let you play them, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, you're the company. I'm the prospective endorsee here. Like, I want to try your stuff before I commit my name to it.
Absolutely.
And I said, if I play them and I love them, I'll be the most dedicated motherfucker you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I need to try them. And this guy seemed to have this big problem. And I'm looking through his other artists and stuff like that, and they're all going, we love this brand, we love playing this, we love playing that. And he still couldn't lie. So finally, I said, dude, just send me a crash in the post. I will pay for the postage. But if I don't like it, I'm packaging it back up and returning it. You can cover it and you won't hear from me again. If I like it, I will buy it on the spot and the rest of it.
Okay.
And he said, okay, well, I can do that. It'll cost you about this much. Blah, blah, blah. I said, cool, do that. When it came down to it, he sends me his bank details and the number said $1,100. And I went, are you serious?
For the one crash.
I said, no, for all of them again. I said,
yeah.
What conversation did we just have? So I started getting really frustrated. I said, you know what? I looked up his website for this company. This is not Soul Tone, by the way. This is a very different company. I looked it up. I found stores that had been selling them.
Okay.
And I rung them. One of them was in Adelaide. Oh, these cymbals are fantastic, man. You definitely want to blah, 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 blah. But the thing is that this is the store that he posted everywhere. So obviously there was a connection there. So I went, okay, let's try some more standalone things.
Yep.
If I want to buy something from a drum company, I don't look up their review.
No, you'd be.
I look up independent reviews.
Yes.
And yeah, basically, I contacted a drum store in Melbourne that I use often that had never heard of them, and I went, uh-oh. And then I contacted a drum store in Sydney that I had been to in Parramatta. A terrific little drum shop that I'd fallen in love with. First time I walked in there, I nearly walked out with a snare. Right, and given my ability to impulse buy shit, I'm lucky I didn't walk out with a snare. But I rung them and I said, look, I've been contacted about an endorsement and I wanted to get some background on the company from a shop. And they said, okay. And I told them the name of the company. He went, oh, has he been on Facebook again, has he? And I went, oh no.
That's not a good sign.
I think I've just dodged a bullet. And he said, now listen. He goes, this cymbal are really good. These ones, they're not. We sold these ones out in a heartbeat, and this other, I think that something like the crashes were great, but the hi-hats were shit, or something weird like that.
Yeah.
And he said, they're still here because they're really not great. He said, try Soul Tone. I said, who? And he goes, Soltone are another Turkish. He goes, there's something about this region of Turkey where they've just figured out how to make cymbals better than anywhere else in the world.
All right.
He goes, these are Turkish handmade cymbals. They are up there with Bosphorus and Zildjian and Paisti and Sabian, all the other companies that market themselves as Turkish handmade.
Yep.
Istanbul and stuff like that. And it's gone, but the price tag's not on them. He goes, they have got really reasonable priced cymbals. And what you want is when everybody's making these cymbals in very similar ways from a very similar region, you don't want everything to sound the same.
No.
The company that you're looking at or that's looking at you, yeah, they're Turkish handmade cymbals. Yeah, they've got the quality, but nothing about them stands out from the crowd in any way that would justify how much they charge. Soltone don't have a stupidly expensive price tag on them, but the cymbals stand out. They're not like Zildjian, they're not like Paisti, who are not like each other either. They are their own thing.
Yeah.
And if you like, he goes, just go down to your local shop, buy a crash, try a crash, whatever it is. I think you're going to like that a lot better. This is someone that had no money to make off selling.
And unbiased.
Yeah, completely unbiased, but also, just wanted to help, which is why I love this drum store. And
it's a Tama Fest chair.
But I kind of went and I found Drummers Paradise had them.
Yep.
In Richmond, and I went, sick.
Good shot.
I went down and I tried it and went, wow. And bought 2 crashes on the spot.
Wow.
Ended up fixing the rest of it, and when it came time to start touring, and I was like, okay, I can offer these people dates. I can offer these people, myself as a working musician who can advertise their brand.
Yep.
And when I approached them, they jumped straight on. They're like, we want you. And were really helpful. I was saying, I want this is what I've been using. And they've gone, try this, listen to this. Here's a video of this cymbal. This is why we think you might prefer the sound. And I did. And now I've got cymbals with my signature on them that I'm absolutely addicted to and absolutely love. 24-inch Mega Bell ride. But
I can't get over that.
Tried it, didn't you?
I did, and it's fucking unreal, I got to tell you.
It's fantastic, and I absolutely love them. And like that now, they are a quality. So I don't have a lot of those problems. I also hit a lot better, which helps. But yeah.
So they got, when you went to them with the dates, because for those people who think an endorsement's just about, how can I get free shit? It's really, how can I advertise your company well? Because it's a business deal.
Definitely. And I certainly don't get free stuff.
No. When you went to them with your offer, let's say, and they jumped on, it sounds like they weren't just like, oh yeah, that sounds great, let's just do it, we'll sign you, whatever. They actually gave you the suggestions, and they really wanted to be involved in making you have better products on hand to do a better job. On their website, there was an application, so I filled that out. I told them what cymbals I currently used. Yep. Which was mostly Soltone anyway. And then one of their reps from the States got in contact with me via email and said, dude, we've listened to your music, we've watched your music videos, we really like what you guys are doing and what you're about. We definitely want you on board. Here's a price list, here's the kind of stuff that we're offering, here's all your little additional, if you want a shirt, if you want your signature on the cymbals, all that kind of stuff. Outlined really, really clearly. And then their expectations of me as well, which there are. Yeah, of course. And rightfully so. It's a deal. It's not a one-way thing. Yep. Basically they went through, and again, the guy was saying to me, because he's another drummer, he's their rep, but he's also therefore an endorsed artist as well. And he was saying, instead of using, a 16-inch and an 18-inch crash cymbal in the Brilliant, the custom Brilliant series, which are really bright, shiny cymbals. He's like, you're playing some slightly heavier rock now. Like, try something a little darker. Try the Explosion series in a 17 and a 19, so they're bigger and they're a bit heavier sounding. And he sent me a demo video of the cymbals, and I went, yeah, hang on, definitely. And the first band practice I brought them to, I whacked them on and hit one. And everybody else in the room, no one of which is a drummer, went, there we go. Yeah. Straight away. When the non-drummers can hear the difference, okay. You're onto something. Definitely. And because those cymbals are bigger and stuff, no one was complaining that they were louder?
One of the main things that I loved about the soul tone cymbals that I bought, as well as when I got that Tama big black bucket of a snare,
which we'll definitely talk about.
Yes. One of the things that I love about them was they were marketed as a guitar killer. I play in a very loud band.
Yeah.
We practice loud. We do not
you don't
turn everything down. I don't walk in with a pair of hot rods to practice. It's full on. Everybody's got their earplugs in. Because we want to play the way that we're going to play it on stage. There's no use sitting down and playing everything quietly, because then when we get on stage, we're going to shit ourselves.
Yep.
So we play pretty damn hard when we practice. Which means I needed cymbals and a snare that could cut through 2 electric guitars coming out of a Mesa and an Orange.
Yeah.
4x12.
Yep.
Plus a bass cab. And I mean, Dave was playing the cab that Danny happens to leave there. I can't even remember what brand it is. Dave's got his own cab that I think is a Gallon Kruger or something like that. But
right.
Way back in the day, our original bassist had he had a 4x12, and then the big 15 or whatever it was underneath that basically had a fridge.
Yeah.
And that was an Ampeg, Ashdown. So that's a lot of noise in the room that we practice in, which is not a practice studio. It's a music room, rumpus room thing at Ben's house. It's not soundproof. Okay. It's not. We've got mattresses up against all the windows because the neighbours kept leaving EPA regulations in the mailbox. But yeah, the room can go from being relatively dead to relatively echoey down to the temperature.
Sure.
So, the floor's mostly floorboards. So, it can impact on the sound a lot. So I needed stuff where we've got that, I guess, idea of if you want space, make it.
Yeah, right.
We do it on stage. If you want to be seen, if you want to jump around, make your space. If you want to walk, you better watch where everybody else is bouncing around, but do it. And I'm sitting down, but I still jump around like an idiot. Sonically, it's pretty similar. We're not out competing each other.
Yeah.
We're trying not to compete with each other, especially as our writing gets a little bit better. But, you've got to be heard.
Yep.
And when you're in a loud environment, I needed things like soul tones and Tama and stuff like that I knew I was going to make it through.
That's the whole thing, man. Whatever your job is, you need tools for that job.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is playing hard rock in a very loud band.
Yep.
So you need instruments and devices that are going to cut through and allow you to stand out.
Yeah, definitely. Even down to fills and stuff. I needed toms that weren't so boomy that everything was going to get lost, but weren't so dull that any hit was going to lack all, I guess, any idea of what I had for it. Yeah. Because when I do little fills and stuff, I tend to think a little bit more melodically. And so I needed that to translate. And when you're competing with, again, a Mesa and an Orange and a fridge of a bass, setup, I needed to know that I was going to get heard.
Yeah. And it works, and it.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I went and saw you guys not too long ago. I can't remember where it was.
Oh, Northcote Social Club.
Yeah.
That was the big homecoming gig after Europe / kicking off the little run of dates for the Where's My Drink, Welcome Home, Victory Lap. I guess.
It was a good show.
That was a very fun night.
It looked like you guys had a good time on stage. Except for when the cymbal...
the stand nearly went.
The stand.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, that drum sound on that night was really good. Everything cut through good, and, thanks again for letting me try the stuff out.
No, definitely.
Up on the stage, because I'd never heard soul tone cymbals before. I heard Tama drums, obviously. I've got a pair. I actually have 2 of them.
Yeah.
3, sorry, 1 in New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
And 2 here. But yeah, got to have a look at your new beauties that day, earlier in the, before the show.
Yeah.
Give them a tune up and stuff. So that was, for those drum nerds, that was an SLP series.
Dynamic Kapoor.
And it sounds fucking great.
I'm in love with it. I couldn't believe the sound of it. Kapua is obviously not a wood that a lot of people use for kits. And, you know, I'd heard it was warm like some woods, but had, you know, pop like others and stuff like that. When I hit it, I went, I get it.
Yep.
This is what I wanted. I wanted my sound to be warm, but I wanted it to have a bit of punch still. And I think the kit really delivered on that. I think the SLPs get overlooked a lot because everybody jumps in and wants to buy a Superstar Hyperdrive or something like the big names that they know, and they miss out on this fantastic series of drums that Tama's put out specifically to allow people to find stuff that gives them the sound that they're after a little more specifically without the massive price tag on it.
So it's affordable quality.
Yeah, definitely.
And it sounds and it looks great too. Mm-hmm. Like it's got a really nice finish on it. What's the colour? It's like an orangey.
Yeah, it's actually it's called Kapua Burst. So it's basically it's made and I guess shined up to really bring out the chocolatey kind of light bit of a red through it.
Yeah.
Wood, and then it bursts to black as you get towards the skins.
And it looks really good. It sounds even better, and it goes really well with the, I don't know, whatever you call it, the bucket, I think.
Oh, the bucket.
The Tama SLP black steel 1
the big black steel snare,
shell.
the big 8-inch deep. Yeah, because, I mean, that snare's got its own kit as well that Tama's put out.
Yeah.
But it was only one rack, one floor tom, and I want 2 and 2.
Yeah.
And I went, look, I don't know if I'd heard some great things about that kit. I was like, nah, look, I want something a bit bigger. I like it wood. I don't know if I want an entire steel kit.
Yeah.
And when I found that Kapua, I went, hang on. And then watched a few videos, got the chance to try one and just went, this is the kit that I need.
Was convinced straight away.
Oh, yeah, was absolutely blown away. And sent it to a few people and said, what do you reckon of this kit? And everybody went, we have never heard of that before, but that's amazing.
It's a Tama.
Yeah, that's Tama.
You don't need to have heard of it before.
No,
all you need to
Tama.
know is that.
They do no wrong.
And last part about equipment and stuff. Can you run us through your drumstick as well?
Yep. So I'm lucky enough as well to be endorsed by the London Drumstick Company. It's a smaller brand based in London, but with reps in other parts of Europe as well. They offer customizability unlike any other drumstick endorsement I've ever seen. You can change everything. The length of wood from between, 1 mil and another mil, basically one measurement, you can, to the mil, anything you want in between that. You can customize the tip. You can customize, you can get, grip in, like they kind of tailor out the handle and give you a bit of extra grip, or all these different options, different woods and everything. And I just went, I love this. I'm going to get the opportunity. So what I did was I approached them and said, this is me. I got your contact through, another band that was endorsed and said, this is the kind of music we're playing. We're coming to Europe. I'm really interested in these sticks. And they went, yep, what type of stick are you after? So I gave them I basically just gave them standard 5B drumsticks and just went, this with this kind of a tip. And they went, yeah, sure, it's this price, you have to buy 12, and then we'll give you a whole bunch of extras you can sell as merch and stuff like that. Sick. So I tried these sticks out, fell in love. We played 19 shows in Europe with these drumsticks.
And you used the same pair the whole time.
Not the same pair. I wish. I still do hit like an idiot, but I only broke. Across 19 shows, I'd be lucky if I broke 3 sticks.
Wow.
And just went, this is brilliant.
Are they hickory?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I just absolutely fell in love with them.
Yeah.
Wait, now next time, I know, because I'll probably burn through them writing the next album and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know I want them a little bit longer, maybe a bit of a different tip. They'll do full color and everything like that. Like it's got my signature and the band logo and stuff like that, but I could get a full design put on it, stuff like that, making proper Mango drumsticks.
That's awesome.
Right, and have my signature exactly the way I want it tailored, and they'll look after me. And I met my rep while I was over there because she was actually one of the promoters for our gig in Barcelona.
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, she was awesome and just totally happy and willing to do whatever we had to do to make sure that the drumsticks were exactly what I was looking for. And now that I've played them and absolutely fallen in love with them, I know exactly what I want. And when I go back to them and say, I want to change this time, they're going to go done. So London Drumstick Company, they're endorsing a lot of drummers in the new wave of classic rock scene over there that we're lucky enough now to be considered, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That whole movement, which is just amazing. There's a lot of drummers that are being endorsed by them. I mean, most recently, Chris Slade, who was the drummer on the Razor's Edge. Yeah. On AC/DC. Yeah, he's there. So the drummer on one of my favourite AC/DC albums, Thunderstruck's probably my favourite song by AC/DC.
Yeah.
That drummer is playing the same sticks as me.
For those who don't know who that is, it's the bald dude with the blue singlet in the music.
When people thought Peter Garrett was drumming.
Yeah. He does look like Peter Garrett. Just doesn't do the dancing.
No. He gets into it though.
He does.
No, but I loved it. Just that extra creativity and drum, the certain little melodic bits in his drumming and all that. Phil Rudd is an absolute institution.
Yeah.
And will always be AC/DC's drummer, but I love the way Chris Slade did stuff.
Yeah.
And just the opportunity to be on the same friggin' company endorsement as him. I was like, whoa. I mean, Steve Adler's endorsed by Soultone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I'm just like two of my drumming icons, and I'm endorsed by the same companies. It's really, really cool.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
I think Nick Menza was with Soultone before he died too.
Nick Menza was with Soultone.
So there you go. There's a couple of big names, and you're a part of that brand. You know, if you could go back and tell yourself 10 years ago that was going to be happening, what do you think you'd say to yourself?
I would have gone, but I'm shit. That's exactly what I would have said.
You got to be fucking kidding me, man. Get out of here. So we're talking about Ablaze. Oh, by the way, if you do want to buy some of those drumsticks and any other pieces of merch from Ablaze, you can go to www.ablazeband.com and you can find all the stuff there under shop. Shameless self-promotion.
No, thank you. That's always helpful. Yeah, no, we've got a lot of merch on sale at the moment. We're doing some cheaper shirts and whatnot, running out the last of the stock from the No Chaser album because we're getting ready to do the second one and we've got to do it all again.
Oh, so man.
We get into that 12 to 18 month period before the fact where everything is a cost and not necessarily coming back to us just yet. So sell off all that stuff. I don't still want to be selling,
stuff
this
from
bitch,
years ago.
This bitch bites t-shirts when we're 2-3 CDs down the line. Just getting, then and the thing is because our online presence has gotten better and because we've taken the time to get on top of our social media and learn the best ways to do it, there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about ours from our history and stuff like that. Like, one thing we're doing now is we're uploading all our old video clips that we initially just did to YouTube. We're now uploading to Facebook on the anniversary. So the other week on the 15th of March, we uploaded Pick Your Poison. There's a lot of people in our fan base that had never seen it. I mean, it's got, I think, 3,000-4,000 views on YouTube, maybe 6. But we've got 7,200 odd, I think, Facebook likes.
Yeah.
But our last 3 videos having been done through Facebook and us, paying for advertising and marketing it to specific audiences and stuff as opposed to just uploading it, most of them have got 26,000 views. So people are watching those, but they don't know about the 3 clips that came out beforehand. So getting on top of that stuff as well and introducing people to all this stuff so that when album 2 comes out, you've seen everything now, you got new stuff.
And that's because your marketing skills have improved?
They have to.
Yeah. How vital is that to the success of a band?
It is the success of a band.
Yeah.
You can make the best music that has ever been created, and if nobody hears it, what's the point? Like you've... if you're one of those musicians that records all their own music in the dark after 11 p.m. in their basement and only advertises themselves on Melbourne, that's one thing. But if you're...
Which is a sad reality for a lot of people.
Well, the thing is that some people only do it for themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you create because you want to be creative and you don't need anyone else to see that, brilliant. You do that. That is awesome. If you want to tour and you want to play your music to people and you want your music to have an effect on people, I love it when music that I've created or been involved in creating impacts on someone. When someone comes up and says, this song was amazing, this song made me feel like this song made me remember this, that to me, that is everything.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to market it. And in Australia now, you really don't need a label, but you need PR.
Right. Australia
is an incredibly difficult market. You need PR and stuff over in Europe as well, for as an example, as somewhere that we've recently been. But there are labels over there that can help you with a bunch of stuff. That can help you with your marketing and things like that. In Australia, there's two or three labels kicking around really for people that are at this level. It's more grassroots kind of level.
Sure.
But a lot of them, it's come to me with your finished product and we'll do stuff after that. They're not. It's not like back in the day where they were like, we like what you're about. Here's a massive chunk of money. Go record us something.
Yeah, right.
Because
the landscape has changed.
Yeah, everybody all of us have all got daytime jobs as well. And we're not living out of Slash's autobiography. It's not how it works. You can't tour constantly in Australia as a band at our level. The best analogy I've heard from another musician was that in Europe there's a ladder and you work your way up that ladder. Okay. In Australia's music scene, all the middle rungs have been ripped out.
Yeah.
You're down the bottom, or you are one of those heritage acts up the top, getting by on the fact that they put out awesome music 30 years ago. With very, very few actually breaking through in recent years. Even bands like Airborne, who are absolutely incredible musicians who are worshipped in other countries and on other continents, in Australia are still getting bugger all airtime. The best you get with Airborne is people go, oh, I think I've heard of them before.
Yeah.
Think you've heard of them. They've toured with everybody.
Yeah.
They play huge festival lineups overseas with dozens and dozens of bands, and they're up in the logo space at the top. They've got, 6 albums?
Yeah.
Like some huge... They've done it.
They just did another one, recently, yeah.
And they're, I just saw them tour with Alice Cooper. They were phenomenal.
Yeah.
But in Australia, you don't get that. Whereas, marketing yourself and getting your PR through some of the companies that will offer PR to, not international touring heritage bands, but people that are a bit further down the line is incredibly helpful, because getting a review in a, respected or semi-respected online publication is really hard to do sometimes. I would love for our album to get reviewed in Rolling Stone or something. But, we got it, getting the PR stuff gets us, attention from the music, or Wall of Sound, who gave us one of the best reviews we've ever gotten that we used for all our PR stuff after that. That kind of stuff where you can say, this is what people have said about us, then helps you market further.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need the good marketing to get better marketing.
But you've got to get that first break, right?
You've got to have in mind the business side of things. It's one thing to go and practice and get your songs brilliant, and for me it's always about the live performance. I love getting on stage and playing.
Yeah.
And it's always what's going to be at the heart of it. But if you want to keep doing that without forking out every dollar you've got, and we are certainly not in the green on this stuff. We're still putting in cash, but some of it coming back and helping us is the reason why we can do some of the things that we've done. It is vital to get your marketing, to understand the basics of social media. Matty Dinan, our rhythm guitarist, he went and did a whole bunch of reading on Facebook ads and lookalike audiences and all this kind of stuff. And since he started advertising, our social media presence has exploded.
Right.
Understanding what you have to do to get your engagements up and stuff like that. You will get labels that'll look at your social media and they'll definitely ask how many likes you got. People go, they don't care about likes. They fucking do. But if a band has got 50,000 likes on Facebook and each one of their posts get a comment and 3 likes, they go, fuck that, they've bought their likes. If you've got 5,000 likes on Facebook, but your engagement's off the charts, that makes you a lot more marketable to them.
Right.
The Facebook algorithm changes all the time, but basically the rules of it are is keep your content consistent, do different things. Don't just upload a photo every day. Understand that sharing an event is not going to get the same reach as uploading a video, and stuff like that.
Right.
Sitting down with someone in social media and who does music, online marketing and stuff. We sat down with Monica Strutt, who does her whole own, media and marketing stuff, and she offers courses and sit downs with bands, and she's got her own Facebook group where she does a lot of these little talks and stuff. Sitting down with her a few times was absolutely eye-opening, because for us it wasn't what do we do. She said to us, your social media is good. You guys are consistent. You upload different things. You do this and the other. What is it that you want? We talked about what we wanted, and then she helped shape our effort into not just throwing everything in every direction, but targeting what we were doing and being more effective. And it worked.
Right.
Mon absolutely opened our eyes to a whole bunch of shit that a lot of bands need. And sitting down with someone like Monica is, for any band that goes, we want to tour, we want to have multiple releases, we want to make a name in any way, shape or form, sitting down with someone like Monica is necessary.
Yeah.
You need to sit down with someone that can go, this is what you want, this is one of the ways, this is a whole bunch of ways that you can help achieve that.
Right.
Yeah, we owe her a significant debt of gratitude for helping us with that.
So that knowledge and advice that she gave you is it's incredible stuff to have, and to, because you can use it as many times as you want for the future as well.
And she's a muser.
She's
just not a social. She's the singer in a band, or the vocalist in a band called The Last Martyr.
Okay.
And back when she lived in Sydney, she was in a band that did quite well called the Vanity Riots. She's a muser. She's done this stuff. She's done the hard yards in a lot of that kind of thing, and she understands it. And she's seen what works, as well as having worked in marketing, PR kind of things. So, and forgive me, Mon, if I got any of that wrong. But just that kind of role, that kind of insight, just like a good sound engineer and producer while you're recording is going to be able to show you, try this, try that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as if you take on a band manager, which again isn't too common in up and coming bands, but is still present, should be able to go, I know this person, I can talk to this person, you should try doing this. Someone in that position gives you the opportunity to tell you how you present yourselves. And anybody who says that doing this kind of music, a significant chunk of it is image, is bullshitting.
Skills.
Yeah, you have to be able to show who you are in the best possible way.
Yep. Authenticity as well is incredibly invaluable.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's a huge part that a lot of people think they have to live up to something or put on a facade. You can't maintain that shit anyway, and you see how far you get doing it. You're going to get tired, and
that's it. And Ablaze, we've never been a band, even when we were little idiots jumping around that rumpus room, fucking up covers.
With your mattresses.
That's it. We never thought of ourselves. We were never going to be the band that stands really still up the front, all rigid, looking down and trying to look cool and look at me. Fuck off. We're idiots. We jump around. I've thrown half full cans of Red Bull at the back of Danny's head during gigs just because he said something to piss me off. We have fun. We want people. We are a rock band singing songs about partying and girls. It's not all, we've got serious stuff. We take the music and the stuff quite seriously, but ourselves, not so much. Yeah. So we have a lot of fun. What's the point of showing, 15 photos of us at the Dog with the Tucker Box, right? Doing ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Or, throwing shit at whoever fell asleep in the back of the van.
Yeah.
And then getting on stage and being like, look how cool we are. That's not authentic.
Doesn't really work together, does it?
No, we're fun. We want people to laugh. We want people to get involved. It's not we're on the stage, you're down there, it's us versus you.
Yeah.
No, it's come here, have a drink.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. Let's sing some choruses.
Like a big party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when we do the softer songs or the moodier songs, or the odd occasion where I get to sit down with the acoustic and play, that it's a very different mood.
Yeah.
But it's still all about one big group of people sharing something together. And we have to show, how do we show people we're not doing it? When we started, me and Ben both had side fringes. Everybody thought we were Screamo. Dead set.
Yeah.
Everybody thought we were a Screamo band.
Okay. Swept over and everything.
Oh yeah, I had the big spikes at the back. And, yeah, idiot.
Yeah, right.
And all those photos and stuff have been coming up recently since I uploaded Pick Your Poison, because that's what my hair looked like in that film clip.
The emo style.
Mm-hmm. Ben was the proper emo. I was dancing between that and the full wog muzzer.
Yeah, right.
Haircut, as my Italian heritage shone through. But yeah, like being able to. I don't know what that came down to is people didn't know what we sounded like.
Yep.
And then when the hard way came out, people's first reaction was, "That's not what we thought you were going to sound like."
Yeah, a bit.
One of the funniest was, the most common and slightly insulting reaction we got when that song came out was, "I really liked that." You go, why are you saying that like you didn't think you were gonna? Because people that we were marketing it to were all rock and roll fans. And then we looked like we weren't.
No, you looked hard.
Yeah, we looked like we were going to get up and and that's not what happened. So, yeah, it's all adjusted a little bit now, and it's certainly not put on or faked or anything. We just sunk into what we felt was right and then figured out the best way to market that.
Yep.
And again, absolutely vital.
And that combination and the knowledge of making those two things coexist together is the trick and the
Big
key.
Time. Figuring out how to be authentic in what you're doing and what you want, and then figuring out how to show that in a way that's people could be receptive to. Look, I'm by no means an expert in any of this stuff, but from what we've done and what's worked and what hasn't, that's what you got to do. When you're targeting Aussies especially, Aussies want real. Any fake shit, you will get, regardless of whether people like it or not, you will get called on it straight away.
Yep.
And people will go, and Australia's got a bit of tall poppy as well. The second that people start sticking their head out a bit, everybody cuts it back down. So if you can go, no, this is us, fuck you.
Yep.
Then everyone goes, oh, okay. Yeah. You stand your ground, you stand by who you are, what you believe in.
Yep.
You get, instantly Australians do respect that.
They can be hard to please, but if you please them, then I find sometimes they're quite loyal. But yeah, sometimes people test you and prod you a little bit and see, is this the real deal? Is this really what it is? Yeah,
and it differs between the scenes around Australia as well. Like we go to Adelaide and,
Adelaide's great.
Adelaide's fantastic. You might not always get the same size crowds as you will in Sydney or Melbourne, but the people rock up, they love... There's a couple of people that come to every gig we play in Adelaide. Some of them have even come across to Melbourne to see us play just because we were playing. And they know every bloody word. They own most of our merch. They're involved in our social media and they comment on something because they know it helps.
Yep.
That kind of loyalty. And the thing is that it's not like we go, oh, thanks, we deserve that because we're the band. Fuck no, we drink with them.
Yeah.
We hang out, we talk shit, we know them.
Yeah.
They're friends now. That's what we want.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And whenever we go to Adelaide, we know, and the venues that we play at know too, because they're like, yep, the boys are coming back. What do you need? Straight away. It's never like, this is what you're getting given.
Yeah.
What do you need? We know what you do. We know what you're about. How's this? Cool. Let's do that. We'll organise the bands. Let's go.
And it's done.
And it's done. It's so good. Organising a gigs in Adelaide for us, with the venues we play and stuff like that, it's usually one of the most stress-free parts of planning a tour.
Yeah, I can imagine. And because you're the one who organises most of that stuff.
I do a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, like being not a band manager, but a booking agent.
Yeah, we've all got different jobs that we take on. When it comes to booking shows and stuff like that, myself and Danny have definitely done more of it. But I mean, Donan takes care of most of the marketing stuff. And Dave's helped with a lot of that stuff as well. And then Ben does a lot of the merch and a lot of the kind of running up budgets and stuff like that as well. Handles a lot of the money side of things just because it's just easier to have one person go, I had this, and this. What do we reckon? We all look through it and go, that looks good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the bookings and stuff like that, yeah, I handle a lot of that stuff, and Danny handles a chunk of it too. Just because it's easier. When you're talking to the same people, may as well be the one person in contact all the time.
Yep.
And we all share everything around as best we can.
Sure. And is that something like those roles that you just described for each band member? Is that something you guys gravitated towards naturally, or did you sort of outline and define roles and say, okay, you're going to do this and I'm going to do that?
Right in the first instance, we did kind of gravitate towards that. When it came to contacting bands and contacting people and sending emails and stuff, writing stuff up, that was all stuff that I was good at and I was happy to do. I don't mind sticking my head out in messages and go, hey dude, I'm from Ablaze, we're this band from Melbourne, blah, 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 whereas other people might feel a bit self-conscious.
Sure. What if they say no?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I just, no, I can do that. Whereas because the merch lives at Ben's house and because all the equipment and stuff lives at Ben's house, when it came to dealing with the money and the stock take and stuff like that, made a lot of sense for Ben to be the one doing it. Mm-hmm. When it came to planning the Europe tour, a lot of the organisational stuff did fall on Ben because he was in contact with the tour manager over in Europe far often than us because Ben's always got 30 questions.
Right.
About everything. Which then he'd go, do you guys have any questions before I shoot him an email? No. We know what's going on. But he did. And he'd send it off. And he found out lots of things that we probably should have asked. But so he naturally fell into that kind of role there. Dynan loves numbers, loves codes and figuring stuff out. Like Dynan built our whole website.
Right.
He couldn't build a website when he started. It took him a long time, but he figured it out, worked out the bugs, and now we've got a website that we have complete control over everything because he's literally coded it from the domain name up.
Right.
And yeah, so we've all got, Danny has a history with booking and used to have a page called Rock Demon Promotions where he set up gigs and did a whole bunch of that kind of stuff way back.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's been in Kistroya since like
a long time.
Fucking the 30s. I don't know, but like, no, it'd be the early 2000s quite easily. They've been going for at least 18 years. So, and he was involved in other bands. So he has a lot of that experience. And he knew, when we first met him, we didn't know anybody. This is the first band any of us had ever been in. Whereas Danny had experience, he knew people. Yeah. And now we know those people. And now where we're at now, none of us have ever been there before. So we're all growing together. Territory. Yeah. That's it. We're all growing together.
And it's interesting that you just said this is your like the only band you've been in. How does it feel being like, you know, not having the experience of being, I guess, a band whore, you know, getting it, I guess, right, if you want to call it that, the first time, and then going through to see your first band go from a high school band to a proper working band?
It's interesting. I must admit, I am probably one of the only drummers I know that is only in one band.
Yeah,
like
right.
Drummers in Melbourne at the moment are a little bit of a precious commodity.
Yeah.
As people tell us, like I wouldn't know. I am the drummer.
It's dry out there.
Yeah, drummers and bassists. But yeah, basically,
it's like trying to get laid during this whole coronavirus thing. It's not going to happen.
Nothing inside. Yeah. No, it's it's. I guess the thing is, and we do this. I mean, our songwriting kind of works in the same way. We don't tend to throw songs out.
Okay.
I mean, there's songs that we no longer play, but when it comes down to over the very close to 10 years that we've been a band, the amount of songs that we've gotten halfway through and gone, you know what, this isn't working, I can think of 2. One during the album, one before Danny even joined the band. When it came to the album, we wrote 12 songs. We had one in the beginning when we probably only had 4 or 5. We had another one coming through and we were getting to the point of putting lyrics to it and just went, something missing in this. Let's bench it for a while. Because we couldn't think, we will listen to a song, okay, this doesn't sound right, and then we'll try a million things. And we'll do that with all our songs. If we dropped a song every time we had a minor to semi-major problem with it, we wouldn't have any music.
Yeah.
We argue about all of our songs right now. This works, this doesn't work, why are you playing that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we work out all those kinks so that when we do put a song out nowadays, it's the best possible version we can, at the time, come up with for that song. And I guess the band in a lot of ways is the same. Things get hard, we don't just go, fuck it, bail. Like, we go, okay, what do we need to do here?
And work to find a solution.
Yeah, right now we're supposed to be writing our second album. We're not allowed to be in the same room as each other, technically.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So we work out the kinks and we keep going.
nothing's stopping you, huh? It's as much a mindset thing as you make it.
Yeah, definitely.
You
like
know.
you give up or you don't. And we sit
Yep.
there and go, this is where we're at. This is all the effort we've put in. These are all the things that we've done. This is the stuff that we want to do. And this is stuff that we can achieve. We just have to work out this kink, whatever it happens to be, and keep going.
Yep.
And that's what we've done.
I love it. And that attitude and that outlook it's something that, like, I know we both know a lot of people in bands, and there's a lot of band bullshit politics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just part of being in a band.
100%.
You know, but sometimes that makes and breaks a band, and the fact that you guys can, you know, I think it's healthy to be able to, you know, if someone's pissing you off or whatever, or you don't agree, have the argument, have the fight, but it's all about, you know, pushing through and coming out the other side and carrying on. And that's something some people, some bands, my old band included, were not able to do. But those that can, like you just said with songs and stuff, if not everyone's going to like the same thing. That's boring if they do.
Yeah.
The great part is when you get the ingredients of everyone together and everyone solves things in a different way. So when you get to an obstacle, maybe someone else's idea gets you past it, and in a way you never thought, you know.
Yeah, and 100%. And the thing is with Ablaze is we are 5 different people putting in 5 different sets of ingredients. We have very different tastes. There is overlap between all 5 of us. But I guess the thing is that we've known from the beginning that having 5 different opinions on something doesn't mean that it's 4 people that aren't going to agree with me. It means there's 5 ways of looking at this, look at it from all 5, and somewhere in the middle, there's something where most people are going to, even if they're not stoked, will be in agreement that it's the best option.
Yes.
And look, the other thing too is maybe it's a case of we haven't found something enough to cause one of us to fucking split it and bail. But look, we work out the kinks.
Yep.
We scream and yell. There's 2.5 Italians in this band.
Yeah,
There's yelling.
That's a fight.
There's yelling. And Dynan and Dave figured out pretty early on that, yeah, no, we got to get involved in this.
Got to say something sometimes, huh? Speak up.
The wogs are going to keep yelling, so...
It sort of leads me into the next thing that I want to ask you about, which is you're talking about and mentioning that you're writing or doing your next album. So I guess my question, I'm just going to ask it straight up. I'm not going to roll into it. For you personally, and I know from having spoken to you about this and knowing you for a while, you're one of the prominent songwriters in Ablaze. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas.
There's a lot of ideas. When you're a songwriter, when you're writing a song, how do you know if a song is worth keeping, even though you don't throw things away? Let's just say instead of putting it on the back burner.
Yeah.
How do you know if a song's really worth pursuing, if it's gonna succeed, let's say, cut through and make an impact? And also, what's your band's approach to songwriting? What is your view on songcraft?
When it comes to... Well, I'll answer the second part first, but when it comes to putting the songs together in the way that we do it, we're open to trying everything. Sometimes... And everybody does it differently too, I should say as well. Danny's come up with guitar riffs. Dynan's come up with lyrics. We bounce stuff off each other constantly. There are songs where we come up with a cool riff while we're jamming together. Like This Bitch Bites was a jam. We were kind of jamming some ideas and it all started coming together, and we had this verse idea and we go, this is cool. And then we're like, what's the chorus going to be? And we're like, you know what, let's write the lyrics and then base the chorus, like the riff, off that to supplement what we're singing or yelling or whatever it was, which worked. We'd never done that before. We'd never done it again. There's nothing wrong with it. It just hasn't worked. I might have a guitar riff on my phone that I put to Ben and he goes, oh, try this. Or even sometimes when there's been accidents. Dynan wrote a really power metal. He really loves his power and thrash kind of stuff. he wrote this real power metal riff, this single note, and I was sitting there going, this is sick. And he tries to teach it to Ben. Ben didn't listen. And he goes, oh, was it this? And starts playing this folky Celtic sound. And we went, no, but keep playing that. And we wrote No Turning Back.
Yeah, right.
Like, just anything. Sometimes there's been songs where I've come in with the whole song. Yeah. And gone, here's the riffs, here's the lyrics, this is what I've got an idea for, let's try. And then we do that, and then over the course of that, Dave might say, hey, look, this section here is a bit sameish. What if we drop this a bit or try that, and gets involved dynamically? Or I might leave a space where I go, I'd love a little guitar fill thing here, but I cannot write anything, Where's My Drink, for example, I can't write some 2-part harmony thing down towards the bottom before we start going back into the chorus in the song. And Ben and Dinah go, okay, let's try this and figure something out together where they harmonise each other. I go, yeah, that's sick. Sometimes it's just a set of lyrics and we start trying to come up with some chords, or, Dinah tends to come up with 1 or 2 really good riffs for every block of writing that we do. He might, he's not going to come up with a million and we pick, or he might not have a whole bunch of little ideas or a few big ideas. He's got that 1 or 2 that he just works on and tries everything until he gets exactly what he wants, and then he puts it to us and we go, holy shit.
Yeah.
One of our really old songs, Natasha, was Dinah doing that.
I don't know that song.
You would have a long time ago. We haven't played Natasha in a long time. It was on that 2's Up, 2-song, 2-disc thing that we...
Oh, old school.
It was on that, yeah. And then, what's the other one? Bad Tattoo. Okay. Off the album. That main riff,
that's his one,
was Dinah, and he came with that. We went, yeah. And I said, hang on, I've got a riff that might fit with the verse, and started playing that. And that's where Bad Tattoo came from.
Yeah, right.
We try a million different things. When it comes to what makes us go, this song stands on its own, we know from probably half to 3/4 of the way through the writing process. We might not always know how it's going to go down with the crowd.
Yeah.
We've always been very focused on making sure that it's stuff that people can relate to and stuff that people can sing along to in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
When we were writing, I remember the first time Ben showed us the riff to Just a Taste, I went, this is pretty cool. We can do something with this. And that's when I said, why don't we try something like this in the chorus and have something really open? And I already had lyrics that fitted what we were thinking about it being a real kind of fuck you song.
Yeah.
And Danny looked at those lyrics and made a whole bunch. He goes, I think maybe this would work, or maybe a few less words. I write really wordy sometimes. So Danny goes, no, I've got to breathe at some point, dude. And I kind of went, I was in the shower where I've come up with a lot of musical ideas, actually. And I just had whoa. I went, fuck, hang on. And when we had that and we came together, we went, okay, this could end up being the first single. And when we were getting towards the end of the writing process and the recording, it was going to be out of that and Back for More as what was going to be our first single. Because we all kind of agreed that we haven't released anything major or any, big releases since. I mean, This Bitch Bites was released at the beginning of 2017.
Yeah.
The EP was 2016. Like, this is us. We're back. This is the big one. This is the album. This is where we make a push. This is where we tour overseas. Our first single off this better punch people in the dick.
Yeah.
And when we got to the end of that writing and we listened, we're like, it's just a taste. It's definitely just a taste. Back for More is going to be a fantastic way to open the album and punch people in, and they get in, sit down, shut up, and hold on tight. That's how you start a rock album.
Yeah.
But Just a Taste was always going to be the first single. Even when we wrote Long Way Home, which we wrote together. Ben had part of the riff, but on one of our writing trips down the Great Ocean Road where we sat down and started riffing these ideas, and Danny went away and wrote these amazing lyrics and came back, we're like, so you've written, because it was based off the fact I had written down, sometimes I've written songs just off the title, and I had a list of titles in the back of my lyric book, and one of them said Long Way Home, and he goes, I like that, and he took it and he came back and he's written this song, and I don't know if he's going to tell me off for telling this story, but fuck him. Basically,
tell it.
He wrote the lyrics and we went, these are really cool lyrics, but listen to the music. And he's like, okay, we're playing it through. And I had the acoustic guitar in my hand, we're playing the chords, and we're like, do these chords and things, does it sound positive or does it sound sad? He's like, oh, it doesn't sound sad. I'm like, you've written very sad lyrics. Like, we're out on the road, we miss the people we love, woe is me. Turn it around. Say exactly the same thing, but, you know, I'm out, I'm touring, but I can't wait to come back and see the people I love. And went, okay, he went back and just literally moved a few words around, and that's Long Way Home.
Wow.
Like,
what started as melancholic lyric ended up...
it's quite melancholic, and he's twisted around. He's gone, yeah, these are. Is this what you're looking for? Dude, sing that with the melodic ideas that we had and that he had over what we're playing, and just bang. And all we needed really to put together was the pre-chorus, which we actually wrote as a group.
Yeah.
And I kind of said, what happens if like I share some of them and then I can go off in like a harmony as you sing that last line? And Danny went, yes, let's do that. That's different.
Yeah.
And we did it, and everybody went,
It's
yes.
working.
Yes.
That's the sort of shit that when it happens, you go, this is what I love about the songwriting process. You know, everyone's feeding off of each other and like things are turning out organically. And then when you have that feeling after you've written a song that you're like, I came here today, didn't know what I was going to write, ended up with that, and now I'm so glad I wrote it. So now some other dickhead can't write it. You know, that's mine.
That's it. And I remember doing the little interview things that we did for the Ablaze TV web series thing that we did. I was interviewing Dynan while we were down at that beach house on the Great Ocean Road, literally writing the album at the time. And it was the day that we'd written the bulk of Long Way Home. And he's sitting in front of me, and I've got the phone set up, and I'm filming him answering all the questions we needed to do. And I asked him about the songwriting process, you know, for that episode.
Sure.
And he answered everything. And then we got to the end, and he just kind of said, yeah, like he goes, I'm quite keen to see how the rest of this album is going to turn out. Because at this stage, we had a rough idea of probably 8 songs out of what became 11, and then at the last minute, 12. And I remember looking at him going, dude, if we write a couple more songs like that one we wrote today, like we knew straight away with the harmony ideas in the chorus and the lyrics and even the chord progressions in some parts. The guy that Jack the Bear, who mastered the album, when he heard the bridge to Long Way Home, started crying, and we were just like, there's this fucking like 6'5" Greek dude with tattoos all over his body with tears in his eyes. What are we doing? Shit. And he just turned around and he goes, you guys have just brought back memories of when I was a teenager discovering music for the first time, just from what you just played. He just said, thank you for that. Yeah. I'm so appreciative of bands like you that bring that out. And we just went, we rang our manager at the time and said, dude, we made him cry. We don't know what to do. But it was a huge compliment. And it was that again, like we knew with some of the way that we felt, because we're still all music fans. When we listen to it and we just disregard for a second that this is us, listen to the song, we can go, as a fan, I wouldn't like that necessarily. We write the music for us and it's stuff that we're writing, but we can also kind of sit back and go, yeah, that pulls the heartstrings, or that makes you go, ooh, or whatever it is. And those moments, that's what grabs people.
Yeah. And what's that feeling like for you when someone like that has a reaction that's so dramatic and impacting? What runs through your mind about what you've just done?
When someone has that kind of that's for me, that's the epitome of it.
Yeah.
When I can not even necessarily evoke the emotion that I felt, but make them feel something themselves, draw their own conclusions from it, have what is essentially our, piece of art, make them stop and go, ooh, and feel something.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's there for. It's music. It's designed to evoke emotion and thought. And if that emotion and thought is, let's drink and party, cool. If it's deeper, that's for me, that's striking gold.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing in music. The thing about it is, and I've said this to a few people, the thing that amazes me is you start with nothing, literally thin air, nothing, and you make something out of nothing.
Yeah. 100%. I
That
could not agree
stands
with you
forever.
more. Yeah, and I had it hit me the other day, and it's something that's hit me multiple times, and then kind of goes away and then comes back, where I think to myself, once upon a time, No Turning Back and Long Way Home and Just a Taste and Bottom of My Bottle and all these tracks didn't exist. And me and my friends sat down and we worked together and we argued and we sculpted and we formed and we came up with this thing. It's now a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing that evokes emotion and happiness or sadness or enjoyment or love or whatever it is in people. When you're sitting when you're playing on a stage that's, half the size of the room that we're in right now, and the drum kit takes up a third of it, and you got 4 other people on the stage with amps and shit in the mountains in northwestern Spain in winter, and you've driven through an hour's worth of snow to get to the bar, and the bar's got 200 people in it, none of whom speak English, all of them know every fucking lyric, and you're sitting there watching these people sing your songs back at you going, holy shit. This has hit people.
That's got to be an incredible feeling.
Magic.
Especially on the other side of the world with people who you've never met. You've bypassed you've gone through the phase where, it's my friends. I break shows into 3 phases. There's it's only your friends or family or whatever. Then it's half and half. And then it's mostly people you don't know. And that's the exciting part when you start getting to that point.
Yeah.
To be on the other side of the world in the situation you just explained with people singing songs that you wrote about something that happened to you or whatever, and for them, either they get that meaning or it means something to them and they can relate to it. That's incredible.
It is why it's one of the reasons we do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Seeing people sing song lyrics that you wrote, and I don't know if you've ever thought this, but sometimes it's weird because you go, I could have, maybe if I wrote something else, they could be saying that right now, they're saying what I wrote, and
Definitely.
So maybe I should have written something, else. Who knows? So with the recording and stuff, obviously you said you live for the live music. Some people like recording better, being behind the scenes. First of all, do you hate recording or do you dread it? The actual recording of the drums and the stuff? Or do you feel any pressure to outdo yourself based off of No Chaser and stuff like that?
I feel that there's always pressure to some degree. I certainly don't dread recording. I really do like the process. I guess for me, with the way that we recorded No Chaser and stuff like that, we gave me 5 days
for drum tracking.
For 11 songs that I had to drum on, and we did it. When you take into account it takes half a day to set that kit up and all the microphones and stuff, make sure everything's tuned up, and you got to quickly check everything, especially when you got wooden kits. Yeah. In a big airy room in
summer.
Yes. Oh no, actually, No Turning Back was.
Yeah.
That was like November,
right?
December. That was some of the days with 35 in the shade, and we were in Riddles Creek, which is north of Melbourne. It's like half an hour north of the airport.
Oh, jeez.
Halfway up a hill. But the album, we started, the first 2 weeks of that were in February.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the rest was later on.
Right.
March, April-ish. And then, so like recording the drum, the thing that the most pressure I put on myself during the recording is that every take is 110%.
Yeah.
Because the thing that I think with music is that, and I'll use this song again as an example, when they recorded Highway to Hell, that's that take of Highway to Hell.
Yep.
Yeah, they can twist things, they could cut the tape up, they could put the best fill or piece the guitar solo together, whatever it was. But for the most part, They're not taking a chunk from 1 and a chunk from 3 and a chunk from 5 and a chunk from 2 and putting them all together. They're taking the best damn take and then making their alterations from there.
Yeah.
Which means every fucking take
has to be on point.
You better, if that is the version that people are going to hear for the rest of existence,
yep.
You don't want to be sitting there going, oh, shit, I wish I'd done that fill a bit. Right? Or are we? And the thing is yeah, I'm going to stuff up fills. You can cut those out. But I hit everything like I am performing at the MCG to a full house.
Yeah.
Because every hit, every crash cymbal, every hi-hat, everything has to be purveying how I want this to feel, because once it's locked into the track, that's how it's going to sound. That's how it's going to feel.
You can't undo it.
You can't go, oh, there's a couple of takes where I was a bit better, but towards the end, we just played the beat. You can hear.
Yeah.
If it's angry, I had bruises on my toes after we recorded Back for More because I did, 10,
stamping the pedal.
10, 11, just bashing that pedal as hard as I could. And I had to record Just a Taste straight afterwards, which was a dumb idea.
Lots of ice on your feet.
Oh, nearly. Hurt driving home.
Yeah, a bit.
But yeah, and I guess there's additional pressure now because we're coming into album number 2.
Yeah.
Which is the big dangerous one. If you do everything exactly the same, people think you're a one-trick pony. If you do something completely different, people think you've changed.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of lucky in the sense that we write pretty varied. We show a lot of variation, and it always comes up sounding like Ablaze. We can write a Celtic tune or a ballad or an acoustic song or something in drop D that's heavier and angrier or anything like that, which can be stylistically quite different, and it always ends up sounding like Ablaze.
Yeah.
So we can stretch in different directions, and we've always been really, really proud of that. So hopefully that buys us a couple of extra tickets on this new album in being able to write slightly different stuff or expand on our writing without people going, this is exactly the same or this is completely different.
Yeah.
And there's pressure. The album number 2 is
you feeling
the
it?
one that scares everybody.
The sophomore album's always, for those very reasons, and something that, for me personally, I like buying a band's album because I know what that band's sound is, so I want satisfaction of that. Like, if I want a hot dog or a donut, I go get a donut because that's what I'm craving. Like, if I want to listen to Ablaze, I know, okay, it's got the sound, I'm going to listen to that. So when bands do shit that's completely nothing like what they did before, it's good. You can branch into that, and make introductions or do something that's like a Venn diagram, linking. But when it's like, hey, we sound like this, oh, okay, we're going to go do jazz or some shit. Not that anyone would do that. But, don't laugh.
No, I know.
But there was a Nickelback album that was like, they had a very hard rock sound.
Yeah.
And then they did an album with fucking trumpets and rappers on it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, shit. Well, that's the thing. It's all right to do a concept album or explore a new idea or something like that, but shit, you got to be ready for what's going to come next.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Like, just don't pull some random stuff out of nowhere and go, oh, how about this, and slap it on.
Yeah. The band and the sound and everything is a product and part of its image, and if you go and throw something completely from left field, you are going to alienate a fan base that's necessarily the kind of listening to that. And there's big bands that have done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That have at some point changed the way they go about things. One of the best examples of precisely how divisive it can be is probably Metallica.
I was just gonna say Saint Anger, right? Or you're
not
talking
just
about Black
Saint
Album
earlier. Yeah, like the amount of people ask me, "Oh, I'm a massive Metallica fan. I love Metallica. I don't listen to anything after Ride the Lightning." I'm like, that's the first 2 seat. You're not a massive fan. You're a massive fan of when they sounded like thrash. You are a Megadeth fan.
Yeah.
That pisses them off. Right. But the thing is, like the Black Album, there's people that hated it. Yeah. No, that's not Metallica. Yeah, well, the next friggin' 8 albums sounded kind of like that. So, you sure? Yeah, Saint Anger pissed people off with, the lack of guitar solos and stuff like that.
Of course.
I really piss off Metallica fans when I tell them my favourite albums are probably Load and Reload. Oh, that shit.
Can't have that.
No, not allowed to have it. You're not a true Metallica fan. Well, actually, I like as many of their albums as you do.
Yeah.
I like more than just that. I love Garage Inc. I like the Black Album. You know, I like, you know, songs like Hit the Lights and all that kind of stuff. Awesome stuff. But
Everything.
they grew. Don't get angry at them that they're not writing the same songs they were when they were fucking teenagers.
Absolutely, because people change and times change.
Yeah. One of my favourite bands is Alter Bridge.
Oh, which is basically Creed with a different singer.
First album was. That first album, A One Day Remains, yeah, there are a lot of ties in with Creed. And a lot of the songs you sit there going, was this an idea that Tremonti had sitting there waiting for a Creed album that didn't come? Listen to him now.
Yeah.
It's not Creed anymore.
No.
That last album wasn't Creed.
They have a edgier sound, I think.
They've hardened, and they've in a lot of ways they've gotten heavier with each album. Like, I found them when they released AB3, and originally fell in love with the first album because it was a bit more accessible for someone like me that wasn't listening to stuff that was that heavy.
Yep.
Then I found Blackbird and went, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Then I came back to 3.
Yep.
And then when they released Fortress, was, you know, there was heavier elements to that, but I was like, no, I'm more open to this now.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one after Fortress would have been The Last Hero. And The Last Hero, again, heavier in some aspects again, but they've still got that melodic. Miles Kennedy's got one of the most incredible voices in the rock world right now.
Yeah.
And then this last album, Walk the Sky, if that was the first album would have been given, I wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound anything like the first one. But
You've
some of the
grown
parts of it, my music taste and, you know, how I open up to some of that heavy stuff has grown with it. Now I just sit back and that album's a masterpiece. Walk the Sky is a brilliant album, and it's start to finish a good album. It's a package, which is becoming a lost art form. I like when albums flow song into song. It's something that we put a lot of thought and conversation, sometimes heated, into how we organise the track listing on No Chaser.
How important is track listing?
I think it's vital. It depends what you're going for. There's two methods of thought, and I had argued with many people about this. As far as I'm concerned, you make it a full package, or you do the, I guess, marketable. You make your first song the big single, and then the next couple of songs are the next few singles. Then you get some extra tracks, and at the end you can do your big flowy, the band decides to do whatever they want and go off on a tangent or whatever, and you can end the album after that because no one's going to get that far in. That's not how we market it.
Yeah, right.
We had the songs we knew stood out. We had songs we knew, like I knew when we were putting them together, I was like, I reckon the end of Bad Tattoo as it rings out is going to flow into Darkest Day. And Darkest Day is the big 7-minute melancholy epic. And then get to the end of that, the big ending on that, as it fades out with that acoustic, or not acoustic, but definitely lighter toned guitar part. And as that rings out, bring in that acoustic intro to Long Way Home.
Yeah.
And perk everybody up and build back up into something happy before we hit you with another couple of party songs and then end with the big ball terror.
The big bang.
Yeah, which is what we wanted.
Yeah.
So it ebbs and flows. It's kind of like waves. You build up, you have the big intro and then it comes down, and a lot of people that reviewed it kind of said, we found it was quite interesting that they went from a big bashing song like Just a Taste into rock and roll, which sounds like it should be a big, but it's not. It sits back and it swings and it's more groove based. And we were 4 songs in and it had been party, 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 party. Well, not necessarily, but big song, like big hitting songs. Like we need to take a left. People are going to get tired. And so we steered it in that direction and people went, this is different. We have entered the next phase of what we're listening to.
Like the next chapter in a book.
We were walking through a door into the next room.
Yeah.
And it can't be the same thing for 12 songs. There are very, very big bands that do that. But we didn't want that. With the variation, we had to be careful where we put certain songs. We didn't want people to go through the same thing again and again and again.
Yeah.
And so, yes, if you're uploading to, Spotify and you're doing the whole, we're only releasing little chunks of music at a time more often, kind of more marketable way to do it in the current climate in music releases, Yeah, if you're dropping an EP with 4 songs on it and the first 2 songs are going to be the singles, you make that first song that first single.
Yeah.
Because then when it goes on Spotify, that's the first song people click. And it will get all the streams, it will get all the attention. That gives you the chance to get into those Spotify playlists that people will organically find your music.
Yeah.
Maybe we're a bit old school when we think about it in that way, but it's more so about, we wanted it to be a full package rock album.
Yeah.
Where start to finish, you can listen to it start to finish and go on those twists and turns. It's not marketed as 12 little singles, it's marketed as one thing.
Yeah, one big piece.
Yeah, which is what people used to do, and I really appreciate the artwork in that.
I think sometimes when you market it like one big package, that opens up a lot of creative ideas too.
Oh yeah,
like more so than just doing individual singles.
Definitely.
Because you've got not just the individual element of each piece, but you've got the whole piece, and that's when you can do things like concept albums and double albums and things like that, and tell stories and weave things in and out. And it's sort of the equivalent of like being able to binge watch a show today, whereas watching a bit every week and then the next year something else comes out and sometimes there's a bit of disconnection.
Yeah.
Whereas when everything flows and it's designed correctly, that in itself is an experience. Like you can take like a Pink Floyd album and sit in a fucking room with the lights off and that's a whole movie.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work as like, here's a song and then here's another one. You could put them together, sure.
But it's not going to have the same effect.
It's not the same effect.
And people put stuff together themselves as well. One of the funniest things I think that has come out of No Chaser is I've read people refer to the last 3 songs as what were they calling it? The Barroom Trilogy or something like that.
That's awesome.
Because it's Where's My Drink, Bottom of My Bottle and Barfight Blues. It's a party song, a love song, and a fantasy song about like a Western bar fight with people swinging off chandeliers and shooting and rigging gambling and stuff like that. It was just funny.
Yeah.
The 3 songs got nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
But people have pieced them together.
Made their own trilogy.
Made their own thing. And people say, I was listening to Where's My Drink the other day, and when the song finished, I went to the next song on my playlist and I went, fuck, I thought the next one was going to be Bottom of My Bottle. I'm like, there we go. That means that in their heads, they've pieced it together in the order that we put it in. That means that we put it in the right order.
Success.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a few random little quick questions just to sort of tie it all off.
Yeah.
But before I ask you those, I want to ask you something about one more question about music.
Yeah.
It's a simple question. It's only 4 words. Oh, it's 5 words. But I think that it's an important question that maybe some people ignore. Have you ever wanted to quit? And if you did, why?
Have I ever wanted to quit?
Has it ever become
entirely?
Has it become too much? Or you said, fuck it, this is not worth it?
Sometimes in the past, there have been moments where you're in the tunnel and you've forgotten that there is a light at the end.
Yep.
When you're working hard and when you're writing that album or you're getting ready to record it and you're not playing, you're not seeing any of that instant gratification, and you have to keep telling yourself, when this comes out, people will say this is awesome. When this comes out, you'll be able to gig. When this comes out, you'll be selling merch and doing this and that. Right now, you're putting in the work so that you can reap the rewards later. At those moments, sometimes it's tempting to go, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
I have never been tempted to quit music as a whole because I write music. It's something I do. The music is in my head writing itself, whether I put it to paper or not. Whether I record that guitar riff in my phone, whether I jam that progression on my acoustic in bed, whether I write down those lyrics or literally sit there while I'm driving, hit the record button on my phone and go da-da-da-da-da-da, or try to remember whatever idea it was.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yep.
Whether I stop it or not, I'm not going to go, no more music. Can't do that.
Sure.
It's a reflex. It's part of my soul. I can't stop that.
You can't turn it off.
No. Have I been tempted to quit being in a band doing what we're doing?
Yes.
There have been stages where my mental health has taken a dive, and I have seriously considered boarding myself up in my room for extended periods of time. Where dragging myself out to go have another conversation about another song that's going to turn into an argument because somebody doesn't want to move from their idea, or because I don't think I need to move from my idea, or whatever it happens to be, gets the better of you.
Yeah.
And there have been moments where I've gone, if this stuff doesn't start turning up, I don't know how I'm going to keep doing this. But I'm surrounded by people that support me. I'm surrounded by people that will listen when I say, you know fucking what, and have my moment where I go bleh and all the bullshit comes out, that will sit there and go, that's totally fine. You're allowed to feel that way. That's okay. And I've spoken to people in the past. I've spoken to you in the past. And yeah, I never have. And at this stage, I won't be.
Good.
Because now that I've been through that whole cycle,
yep,
I know the process. And so you know where the light is, even if you can't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've just got to hold on sometimes and just ride it out. Like it's tricky, you know. It's a hard thing to grasp your head around, and sometimes people don't really understand that being in a band is difficult because, yes, there are a lot of good things that come with it and it's fun. There's a lot of challenges.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Huge challenges.
Like the fact that people don't, you know, pay for songs and stuff now is a huge thing. And I always say to people, because that's something that I find personally disheartening.
Yep.
And I just say, you know, when you think about, you practice the drums like all the time as a kid, right? Well, I did. And then you did recently, as we talked about. When you think about this person who used their skill, like maybe they, like if you're good at mathematics, you might have been an accountant, right? You go to all these rehearsals, you convince your parents to let you be a drummer and practice, and you do all this stuff, and you get to buy a song that you can listen to as many times as you want for the rest of your life for like $1.39 or whatever it is. It's not really a big ask. And sometimes, like when people shit all over that, it gets a little bit disheartening, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who will appreciate it as well. And, you know, as much as you might want to undo things like that, you can't stop some of them from happening. And like you said, support is incredibly invaluable.
Support is massively invaluable.
You know?
And no, you're right. I'm not going to pretend I'm a massive fan of the streaming world that we live in. I'm not going to pretend that when I was a teenager I wasn't on LimeWire basically giving my computer AIDS so I can listen to ACDC for free. But yeah, we did it. We streamed, we downloaded stuff illegally, we did all that shit. Everybody fucking did it. And now, looking at it from the business side of things, people fucking shouldn't. No, it shouldn't be $50 an album. But at the same time, I remember reading, I think it was Pharrell Williams or someone, you know, when he released Happy, which was the biggest song on the planet for a few months. It got like 4 billion or 2 billion streams or something. Don't quote the numbers because they're wrong. But on Spotify,
yeah,
he got about 40 grand out of it.
Yeah.
And everybody went, yeah, you made $40,000 out of one song. Motherfucker, if he got 2 billion streams, he should never have to work again. Do you understand how much a billion is?
Yeah.
People don't. They think it comes after a million. No. Billions a lot.
It is.
If you make if you sell 2 billion of anything, you shouldn't have to work again.
Getting $1 from it.
If you're getting 50 cents, you should still have $1 billion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You sell 2 billion Redskins and you should have $1 billion. This is a song that took hours.
Yep.
Not only hours of recording and mixing and mastering, not only hours of writing, but the learning and the journey that you've been on and the practicing and everything that's built up to the fact that you now have the ability to write that song.
Yep.
Is worth more than the 0.03 of a cent that Spotify gives you when someone listens to it. I mean, shit, I think Just a Taste's on like 27,000 streams on Spotify.
Yeah. And that's not 1 cent That's not 3 cents.
No,
that's 0.3 of 1 single cent.
Yeah, it's 0.3 or point. I think it is 0.3 actually. I might be wrong before, but that's it.
It's fucked.
Which means in order to get a cent, someone has to listen to it 3 and a bit times.
Yeah.
To get a cent. Piss off. Like to me, I don't have Spotify Premium.
I don't have it either.
I don't agree with it. Like, and I could quite easily, and I understand I get to listen to whatever I want and stuff like that. But you know what? I still buy CDs.
Yeah. In that case down there is a CD collection.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's for those playing at home. It's a big like acoustic guitar box,
and that's only like half of it.
Yeah. Oh shit! I've got CDs. When I cleaned out my car and had to get all the CDs out of it, there was 35, 40 CDs in it, and most of them were local bands.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of local stuff. I was looking up a band that I'm obsessed with at the moment from Europe, who are in that new wave as well, a band called the New Roses. They've got I think 4 or 5 albums. And I'm looking at it going, right, so that's how much all 5 of them are going to be in euros. And in Australian, it's going to cost me that much. So when I get paid, I should be able to buy at least half of them. Because I want the CDs in the car. And I like having the full musical package there. So I can listen to the first track to the last track.
Tangible thing.
Yeah, and I love having that thing in my hands. When we released No Chaser, we went and picked them up from Implant Media, and they'd all been printed and everything. I sat in my car, I cracked open the box, I ripped the plastic off.
Yep.
That new CD out of the plastic smell hit me, and I opened it, and I opened the book that we had all designed together and flicked through it and saw all the photos and all the lyrics.
Yeah. Lifted
the CD and looked at the back and looked at the cardboard and everything and just went, fuck, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what we put all the work in for, is this thing right here.
And it started with nothing.
Yeah. There was nothing there, and now I've got 200 copies of this CD we've got to sell.
Yeah.
Right, but that
marketing
was it.
skills here.
And that's where that all came back in. But yeah, that was it. That tangible thing is always the biggest thing to me, and it gives it more value. When it is a song being streamed off an app on a computer or a phone, people don't have a problem not paying for it because they're not putting value on it.
Yes.
When you've paid $20 and you've got that CD and you've got that booklet and you've got that, or you buy the vinyl and there's the whole experience, the sleeve, and basically to the point now where I don't think a lot of people really do give that much of a crap about how it sounds on the vinyl, because most modern vinyl pressings don't actually sound anywhere near as good as the old ones used to.
No.
That sleeve and that collectible, ownable, tangible thing has moved to the vinyls.
Yes.
You still do that with a CD. It sounds better.
Sounds great. And you can skip tracks easier.
Yeah, that's it. Like I kind of just sit there and go, yeah, this vinyl thing, like I understand it, but I'm not on board with it. I like CDs.
Yeah, CDs are great. And they still have the booklets.
Yeah, you still get your booklet. You still get everything like that. I love flicking through that and seeing the photos. The best one.
That's cool.
When I remember getting one of Chickenfoot's albums, and it came with all these. It came with a set of 3D glasses, and the case, if you put them on, looked completely different. It came with all these 3D photos of Chickenfoot's. Chickenfoot.
Chad Smith and Joe
Chad Smith, Satriani, Sammy Hagar, Mike Anthony, supergroup, and it came cards of theirs that were 3D, and it looked like Chad was throwing the sticks at you and stuff like that. And I sit there going, "This is a package." That CD package won awards because it stood out. It was cool. To do something like that would be sick, but that sort of deal, making it that collectible thing again, I wonder if that'll be the next thing that brings that CD back. Because I love people that are like, I only listen to cassettes. Fuck off. All right, but I understand the vinyl thing and the process of taking out the vinyl and putting it down and getting the needle and finding the groove, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Cool. But when I'm driving around in my work van with the dodgy aftermarket Bluetooth on it, right? No, I'm not fucking with my phone the whole time while I'm driving. Shove the CD in and enjoy it.
That's the experience you're paying for.
Yeah. Even with EPs, a band will put out a 3-song EP and 10 minutes in the CD's over. I'm like,
why?
More. That's why our EP ended up having 6 songs.
And the cool thing about CDs, like, before, like as a kid, like internet was around, but it wasn't like, if you wanted to see what a band looked like or whatever, you bought the CD and like looked in the booklet and stuff like that. So there's nostalgic value.
Oh, big time. You go through all that stuff again. You find CDs that are old or whatever happens to be. You end up, you end up looking at those CDs and listening to those songs again and getting sent back to wherever it was that you heard it the first time.
Warp.
That's it. It can be music as a rule can be a massive time warp, but opening those CDs and stuff again, seeing that design or that random gash on the CD where you thought, fuck, I hope this still works, and it did.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. It's still very much part of it.
It's all part of the musical journey, and
Yep.
Things go in waves anyway, come and go. So
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to wrap up. I've got a few sort of quick fire questions I'm going to ask at you, and
Yep.
we'll see what your responses are. I don't know what they're going to be because I don't even know if we've discussed some of these things. So it's going to be purely winging it.
Okay.
All right. So, what has been your worst on stage moment?
I had a situation in another gig in Spain where, for whatever reason, the floor of the gig was absolutely absurd, of the stage, sorry, and the kit was just running away in different directions. I'm kicking pretty hard and the bass is just taken off. I've got cymbal stands jumping backwards. I've never experienced anything like that. I've just basically wanted to orchestrate the thing to the wall behind me. I was so pissed off. But I've thrown broken sticks behind me and they've bounced off the wall and clocked me in the head. I've had, situations where I can't hear myself at all and I've got no idea if I'm singing in key. I'm shitting myself about
Just
that.
guessing.
Yeah, or just moments where I've ripped a finger open, I've got blood pissing down my hand. I'm like, fuck it, you got to keep playing.
Yeah.
And basically almost gone into shock after I've gone off stage because there's such
Jeez.
massive shit going on with my hand. All of that. I've had some doozies.
Some bad drumming accidents, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Drummers, you've got to be really fit for drumming. People don't realize that. Match fit. And there's a lot of injuries, like everything you just said. And like I know a dude who was hitting like a China or something like that, and he like went forward and came back and like fully clocked himself in the back of the head. And that shit hurts, man. Like it's bone.
Yeah,
on wood. Like you hit yourself on the knuckle. It's not pleasant.
No, and I've fucked a lot of fingers doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could only imagine. All right. Next question. Worst fan encounter.
Oh, worst fan encounter. I don't know. I haven't really. Oh, yes, I do. When we played with John Karabi in Adelaide on that tour, it was the last show of the tour. We had a blast, and afterwards, one of the tour managers came up and said, "Hey, look, after the gig, everybody hang around. We're going to have a drink. The bands are all going to hang out, finally get a chance to chill after this crazy weekend. You can get photos with John and everything like that." We're like, "Oh, we'll get a big photo together." He's like, yeah, John wants a photo with all the bands from this tour and stuff like that. We're like, sick. We're all hanging out and stuff, and out of nowhere, this crazy old chick rocks up with a saxophone, with an alto sax, and just starts playing. But she's not playing songs. She's and it was the worst sounding thing I've ever heard. And in the end, we just said, yeah, look, everybody's over this. We're leaving. So we went out the back and down the stairs at Enigma where we played. And everyone's talking in the car park. We're getting back into it. All of a sudden, this chick pops up again and keeps playing. And everyone's like, right. So, yeah, we hung out and we talked shit and we met everybody added each other on Facebook and stuff like that. But the chance to actually hang out with a bunch of these international touring musicians and talk shit and have a laugh was destroyed by this friggin' idiot.
With a saxophone.
Yeah, it's like, dude, listen to the show. The gig was over. People have been asked to leave the venue and this chick's come back up the stairs and no one stopped her. And we just kind of went, what's happening? What? And we were laughing until it got really annoying. And we went,
it crosses that point of being
we
funny.
were just pissed off.
Yeah. Well, randomly, who brings a saxophone to a rock show? Like, in their bag or something?
I don't know what the hell happened.
It's Adelaide.
Yeah.
Radelaide. It's a cool place.
No, I love playing in Adelaide, but I have no idea what that night was. Maybe someone from Adelaide... If anybody from Adelaide checks this out, might know who this person was.
Crazy saxophone lady.
I can imagine a couple of people from Adelaide going, her.
I know that chick.
Oh, her.
Maybe she turns up at other people's shows. I might have to ask around and see if any other bands have seen her turn up.
Yeah, the worst part was Dining going, hey, do you know Baker Street? I'm like, shut up! Don't encourage him.
All right, and weirdest thing you've seen, either at a show or on a tour, on stage or backstage, from the stage.
Okay.
Weirdest, most odd kind of thing. It can be crazy or it can be just fucked up.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen at a gig.
Yeah, or experienced.
Nothing will cap this. Unfortunately, it's not something weird that happened in Europe. It wasn't anything,
It's a home
particularly
thing.
rock and roll. Way back, before I met you.
Oh, wow,
We
okay.
played a gig at a festival that never happened again
Oh, this will be good.
called Scorcher Fest.
Scorcher Fest.
Yeah, and this was at a
This is here in
bar
Melbourne?
in Brunswick, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was called Sound Bar, I think, but it wasn't the same sound bar that was better known. It was another sound bar. And we played this gig. They sold us tickets. They said, we're going to give you this many tickets. You have to pay $400 to us for all these tickets, and then you have to sell them, and what you make is your profit. So great for them. They made all their money before sales had started. And looking back now, she should have said, fuck you.
Yeah, of course.
But we
They
ended up
scorched
playing.
you.
Yeah, they fucked me. But this gig, we were going to play in this little corner in there was 3 different rooms going on, and one of them was basically set up as a bar, and we were playing on the floor in the corner. The main stage in the actual proper band room at this venue was empty. The bands had finished. So I went up to the organiser and I said, okay, we're a 5-piece rock band that's actually sold our quota of tickets to this shit fest. The band on after us has come all the way from Tasmania, and we ended up making friends with them, and they ended up helping us, or one of them, Nathan, ended up helping us get to Tasmania to tour the first 2 times we went. And then the band after us was Ben's other band with our original singer, which was a heavier screamo kind of band. And then there was there was another band between the 2 of us, and then someone else was on at the end, I think. Put us on the main stage. It's shut. Why would you have 5-piece rock and metal bands wedged in a corner in the bar when there's a band room that's empty after 9 p.m? What are you doing? And he went, oh, actually, yeah, we should be able to do that. So it's been organised like shit. So they've moved it around. We've gotten up and played. The Tassies have gotten up and played, no issue. Then it was us, sorry, because I had to help him get all these he was a metal drummer, so he had 14,000
A lot
symbols.
of stuff.
Yeah. And then between us and Ben's other band, the more hardcore band, this band came on called Omelette. I had never heard of them before. I have not heard of them since. They came on, and first of all, round the back in the little green room, they were all racking lines.
Yeah, right.
Right? We as a band just starting to gig and stuff, never experienced any of that before. So we went, I remember the boys coming out and going, so we just saw them doing fucking all this shit, and we went, oh, okay. These guys came out.
Yeah. This is Omelette.
Omelette. They had a half-hour set, I think. Most of us did that day because it was quick fire. They'd already ripped us off. They wanted us out.
Yeah.
They came out wearing tinfoil hats. The singer had a fishnet draped all over him and had gone down to a seafood market and literally wedged whole actual fucking fish into the netting. And I cannot remember Dinan remembers it better. Cannot remember the stuff they sang about. I just remember it was one song. They got to the 45-minute mark and they ended up pulling the plugs out, flicking the lights on and saying, get the fuck off the stage. These guys had basically gotten up, gotten high, come out and just decided to fucking ambient jam for 45 minutes in a half-hour set.
With fish in their pants.
With fish in their tops. And I remember when they were getting off the stage, they were packing up and everybody's going, you guys are fucking shit, piss off. I mean, all of the 20 people that were in the room. And one of our mates went, what the fuck? We're waiting for decent music. And the guy turned around, pulled out one of the fish and threw it at her. And I'm not talking about like a little fucking bait fish or something. This was like a fucking salmon. Has like thrown a fucking half-frozen salmon at one of my mates at her feet and gone, chill the fuck out. And I jumped up on the stage and said, I will beat you to death with that fucking fish. I was so, I ended up I lost it. I was like, fuck you. And in the end, Ben's other band came out and played, but most people had left at that point.
Yeah.
And in the end, it ran over time and stuff, and we just went, fuck these assholes. And that festival never came back. That might have been a rip-off scheme to start with, to be honest.
So not having any of that, putting up with any of that shit again at a show. Yeah. But it sounds like a disaster.
That was the
organised.
weirdest. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a gig. The saxophone thing was up.
Both excellent choices for answers there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks again, Dan, for coming on today. And I know, like I said before, you've always been supportive, and it's awesome to have you on as one of the first guests. And I'll get you back again anyway, and we'll carry on the story. Because we still haven't talked about a lot of stuff that I wanted to cover, but you know what? It's more fuel for another day.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks, everyone. That's Dan Mangano. And if you are interested in anything to do with Ablaze's band, you can go to www.ablazeband.com or facebook.com/ablazeband, and you can also find them on Bandcamp. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Mangano, I'm Tommy Rocker. It's your Daily Afternoon Excess.